Hey, hi guys. Hello and welcome back to my channel Elucidate. And from today onwards, we are going to cover a very important topic which is named as Java 8. So Java 8 has delivered some of the very important modules, or you can say topics like Lambda, what is a Lambda expression, how to make use of it, what are functional interfaces, what are their benefits and why to even use them, what are Java streams, what this API is all about. So there are n number of things that we need to learn. It's going to be a long and lengthy series, but please be with me. I will try to make them in a very easier manner, the way I have learned it, and or the way I prefer people to learn it, because learning in a difficult way won't fetch you anything. We are learning something because we want to show our skills onto the market so that we can earn it, or so that we can showcase anything, right? So reasons can be any, but we have to keep on updating ourselves. And the very first reason why we need to learn or go for Java 8 series, why? Because right now in demand is that currently talking about with respect to people who have started learning Java, or those who are experienced people who are working onto an automation field, right? So now even if you go for an automation interview, they won't be asking you questions related to Java, right? They would be asking, but now the questions or the type of queries that are being asked are totally based upon, like, what is the functional programming, have you used supplier, have you used predicate, what is consumer, what is by consumer, right? Can you write a Lambda expression for this piece of code? uh, and what is an interface, does an interface is required for writing a Lambda expression? So all these kinds of stuffs people would be asking, they will making you confused. So there is a hell lot of things, and people, the young guys are totally confused from where to start about. If you go and search on the internet, some people will start telling you from the supplier, some will start with stream, some will start with Lambda. So there are n number of things. It depends upon your will. It's free choice. You can learn from anywhere. The main thing is that you should learn, and with the help of that learning, you should showcase your skills wherever it is required. Whether you want to earn money from that, whether you want to have a very good job, whether you want to teach someone. So it depends upon your requirement. But the thing is that you should start learning, right? So without wasting further more time, let's get back to our topic, what we are going to understand over here. So the very first thing is that, just be with me in the way, in the manner that I am creating this particular lecture. You will be able to understand and try to get into my mindset. It would be very easy for you, right? Don't think that everything you should be able to understand in one way or in just one video. It will not happen. It will never happen in that particular way, right? Okay. So the very first thing that starts is that, what is a Lambda expression, right? So my definition over here is that, so as to simplify, is that it is a way of writing code, so that, so it is a new way of writing code. You would not be writing the way we used to write it previously. And onto this particular way of writing code, we use Lambda expressions so that we can make use of some functional programming. We can reduce some lines of code. Let's say there are 10-15 lines of code. Those pieces of lines of code can be removed or can be eliminated. I will show you later on, when we start with working with our automation framework. So I'll tell this thing later on, but at this particular point of time, what we are going to do is that we will be understanding the very basics of functional programming. So an example I have, a jotted down over here. I'll walk you guys over through through you. So it is a way of writing code so that we can make use of this particular thing like functional programming. We can reduce the lines of code. This is very easy. Benefits of Lambda expression, and we can make our code readable and in a very concise manner, and we can make use of APIs. So what this point is all about, you will get to understand in the later courses of the section, right? As soon as this course progresses, everything will start making sense. Step 1 will make sense, step 2 will make sense, step 3 will also make some sense. Again, I'm just re-navigating from step 1. So if somebody asks you what is a Lambda expression, you can simply say that it is a way in which, nowadays we have started writing the code. And why we have started writing the code onto a new way? Because we can make use of these kinds of things. Like functional programming reduce lines of code, make the code readable, and make use of APIs. Why I am repeating again and again, so that it gets stuck onto your mind. So it is a way of writing code. And what is this new way of writing code? The second question some person will ask. And what is this new particular way of writing a code for a lambda expression? So you will say that, or you can say that at some point of time, that in this new way we are not going to specify any method name, we will not specify any modifier, and we are not going to specify any return type. I hope you guys know how to write a particular method, right? So first I'll cover these 3 points, and it will start making some sense, right? And in this particular new way, what is new? It's okay that now a person may ask that now you won't be writing public static void and the method name. Let's say method name is Abhinav, that is my name, right? It's okay that now you won't be specifying the method name, it will be removed. You won't be specifying any a modifier, it will be getting removed, let's say. And you won't be specifying any return type, it will also be getting removed, right? So what is new? So you will say that again, that it is an anonymous function. So what is anonymous function? We'll cover everything, but first try to get into the theoretical part. So what is a lambda expression? It is a way of writing codes because it has certain benefits. So these are the benefits over here, right? And what happens into this new way of writing your code? You won't be specifying these many things. And what is new into this new way? If somebody asks, you will simply say that lambda expression, it is an anonymous function. I'll give you the demo in my just next upcoming lecture what this anonymous function is all about. But at this point of time, it is an anonymous function or anonymous method, that can be used at some point of time for some work, let's say. And whenever you would be using this anonymous function, it won't be having any name, any modifier, and any return type. Not any specific return type, any return type it won't be having, right? And so why we need to even understand, this is my question. It's okay, the lambda expression, we write a code in a particular way that we won't be writing public void or method name. It will make the code little bit reduce some lines of code, or it will make our code readable. It is okay, we are going to do. It's understandable that we are going to now write code into this way, into this manner, into with the new mindset. But why, even why we are doing that? So for that, you need to understand, because nowadays in Java, in automation, mostly even your automation framework codes are migrating from your old Java code into functional programming. They have started implemented functional programming. So what this functional programming is all about? You need to get a basic idea. I know I am just taking some time to build up some sort of a theory, but it will make some sense. So for that, I'll make you to understand a particular piece of code, uh, which is let's say being currently used in any industry as of now. So these kinds of things, the code that I have written, are being currently used in some organizations, right? So what is happening over here? There is you can say, those who do not know anything, let's say this is a method, right? Although it is a supplier, a boolean supplier, everything I'll explain later, but at this point of time, let's say this is a method, right? Return type of this method, let's say it is a method. Return type of this method, if I just click on it, control and mouse hover over here, it is navigating to a different place. And onto this different place, it is saying, it is referring something to some other method, right? So this is also, let's say, a reference type kind at this point of time, okay? So it is referring to page title validate, right? This is also some other method. So this method is referring to another method, right? And this is where we are actually validating the title of a page, right? This is the code I have written. I'll explain everything, but just try to understand. I'm making you guys confused because the very first time I saw that guy seeing this piece of code, that particular person was also confused. Like, what is happening? I'm not able to understand why you are navigating here and there. The very first question that guy asked to me, that Why you are navigating here and there? If this is a method you are calling, then it should do its own work. It is saying go to the return type. Return type is navigating me to the line number 15. It is saying that this was a reference type of variable, it is referring to this particular method. So now he clicked over here, he navigated here. Okay, this is a boolean, and inside this method where actual validation of Amazon page is going to be done, it is again redirecting me to some another method. This piece of code, this line of code, let's say, was written onto 4700 line, right? There are n number of code. You will get confused in a bigger framework if you want to work in an automated environment where automation is being done, or even if you are learning. Even freshers are facing this kind of challenge, right? So the question was that from here to here, here to here, and then this is calling over here. So what is happening, right? So you may get confused that why this method and this method and that method. Again, I'm reiterating, we have to, let's say, validate the title of a page, let's say Amazon page, right? So if you want to validate the title of a page, simply we can make use of this particular method. This was the question that was being asked, right? Because we can make use of this particular method, right? If I want to call this method, I can directly call. See, this is, these are two class, Lambda project class, and this is new class one, right? Over here, I have created an object of my class one, first class, that is Lambda project class. In this class, there is a method named as print Amazon web page title, right? I would have directly called this particular method over here and have executed it, right? But why I'm calling this supplier? This is a concept of Java 8. We will covering it, but let your mind get confused, because then only you'll be able to understand why Java 8, what Java 8, what is Lambda expression, why functional programming. Because there's no need of learning anything if you are not able to earn something, or if you are not able to make other people understand. So I have seen people in an organization, they just keep on learning, but they are not able to implement anything in their real life. They always tend to get confused, right? So I do not want this to happen with you guys. That's why I'm again and again reiterating the same thing twice and thrice and four times, right? So that you're able to understand, and please try to get into my mindset. It would be a lot easier for you to to navigate through the entire series, right? So the question again arises that this method is present over there. Let's call it, and it will print directly the web page title, right? But no, I have not done it like that. I have called the supplier. If I click over here again, I'm navigated back to this particular class, to this line where this method is there. Okay, so now you may get confused. Where is the code for validating page title? Here only written. Okay, click over here. It has redirected you to private boolean supply kind of stuff. Something XYZ, something very tricky is written over here. Now you would be redirected back to this particular method, right? If you click over here, then you are again redirected back to this particular method. So in this way, a lot of confusion is being getting created at every point of time. Okay, but still, this is what we are doing over here, is known as functional programming. One method is calling another method is calling another method. So there is a series of chains of things that are occurring over here. Although some people may not be able to understand what suppliers are all about, we are going to cover. But in order to understand all these kinds of stuff, again I'm reiterating, in order to understand all these technical kind of stuff, why people have started learning, making use of some things like Java 8 stream, Lambda API, and XYZ blah blah blah, because now it is being enforced in the organization to some extent that we should start using Java 8 features, because some organizations may be willing to use it, right? Or maybe following this kind of structure. So in this way, you just go over here, you call the supplier, that will call this thing, that this is going to refer to this method, this method is going to refer call this method internally. And if we run it, let's say if I run this my class, let's say what happens. If I run it, something should appear in the form of an output, right? So this is Amazon web page, and the page title is printed above. So it has called this method, and the exact code is, again I am showing you again and again, the exact code is written over here. We are not calling this method directly. We are calling it, you can say, to some extent by means of functional programming. One method calling another method calling another method. So functional programming is a totally detailed and a very different topic. I will be covering some aspects, or I can say I will be touching some aspects of functional programming, so that you're able to understand, right? And this is why we are doing that, because we do not want to hard code or pass anything onto one particular place. There are a lot of reasons. We are going to cover that, we will be covering. But this was the whole essence, so that we can make use of functional programming. This is how I told, nowadays in Java automation framework, this is what is being currently used in some of the organization, or even I would say in most of the organizations. Okay, so again I'm reiterating the entire thing what we discussed. If somebody asks you what is Lambda expression and what are the benefits, you will say that now we have started writing our pieces of code into a new different way or a new different fashion. And the benefit of writing the code into this particular fashion is that we can reduce some lines of code, we can make code readable, or you can also say that we can make use of functional programming and we can make use of APIs, right? So these were the benefits. And what is new in this new way of writing code? No method name would be specified, no modifier would be specified, and no return type, right? So Lambda expression, if I try to conclude it at the end of this lecture, which I have just concluded, is that with the help of this Lambda expression we would be able to write our code in such a way that it will be reducing some lines of code. We would be making use of functional programming as well. And once we start writing Lambda expression, we would not be specifying any method name, any modifier, and any return type, right? So let's say the normal method is written like this, like public, return type is, let's say, string, method name is Abhinav. This is how you write Java method, right? But now let's say SOPL, I just print something over here. But now what will happen? Now what will happen over here is that, guys, you won't be writing this, you won't be writing this, you won't be writing this. How we are going to write Lambda expression, I am going to quickly cover onto my next lecture. But at this point of time, this was the whole essence and importance of Lambda expressions and why we have started learning it. The main reason is that we are learning because we want to survive in the market, right? We want to earn, we want to take care of our families, we want to take care of our friends, we want to go on site, off site, onshore, offshore, whatever may be the reason, right? That is why we have started learning it, because now it is being getting enforced in your automation industry. These kinds of code structure is allowed to write into this particular fashion. Some every organization is writing in a very very different way, but I have seen people getting confused, what is this, why is this, and how it is being returning something from another class. So we have seen little bit over here, right? So guys, I hope I am make able to make some sense at this point of time. What is Lambda expression? Lambda expression is an anonymous function, or you can say, let's say, method name at this point of time. And that anonymous method won't be having any name, any modifier, any return type. Lambda expression is an anonymous function and it won't be having any method name. Let's say I'm just writing it so that those who are learning it from the very first time, or those who do not have any zero idea, would get some basic sense, right? So that it does not have any method name, it does not have any modifier and any return type. Okay, so the syntax would be somewhat like this, and you will be writing your code inside it, right? I am going to cover very quickly into my next lecture, but this was all about this particular lecture, guys. I hope I am able to make sense, and please let me know if you want to give any feedbacks in my comment section. And on to my next lecture, what we have planned to do is that making we would be making use of Lambda expressions. And even before that, we would try to make, like, how to write Lambda expressions. I will give you various examples how to write Lambda expressions, how to write Lambda expressions examples. I am going to cover over there, and after that we will start making use of Lambda expression. And Again, I'm reiterating in the end, why to learn so much of technical stuff when you are able to do your job in automation industry. Why? Because IT industry is moving very fast, very rapidly. A day will come that they will say that and migrate your entire code into this particular format. Then what will you do? If you are not aware, you would be getting 15 days, 30 days, 40 days, let's say 2 months. If you are not accustomed or your mind is not, trained of writing code into this particular form of fashion, you won't be able to understand. See, I have trained myself at the end of creating this session. When I was about to give the demo, I realized that even while writing I have used this concept. So in step one, I'm saying it is a way of writing code, and I'm referring this line over here. What is this new way of writing code? And what is new way of writing code? I am referring over here. What is new in this new way of writing code? So I realized that your mind will automatically start working onto this particular fashion. Things will become easy, but it is not difficult. It is very very easy. It is damn easy. I don't know why people have made it very difficult. Lambda expressions, Java Stream APIs. If you understand the way I am making you to understand at a very, very low level, you can say everything would be easy. Okay. So, guys, please stay tuned for my upcoming lectures where we are going to discuss how to write Lambda expression and how to make use of Lambda expression. As of now, again, I'm reiterating what is the Lambda expression. It is an anonymous function or an anonymous method name which will not be having any of its method name, it will not be having any return type, and it will not be having any modifier. Okay, so this was the theoretical part. Let's quickly meet on to the next lecture. Thank you for your time and thank you for patience for being with me. Thanks a lot.